Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to be baking today. I do have an assistant that is going to be talking to me through the headset, so if you hear her, hello Jen! And hello everyone out there. Hello Davissa, hello Melissa, hello Jennifer, hello Yana.
Hi!
And I don't know who else is there, but hello everyone! So today we're going to be making Nanaimo Bars, and Nanaimo Bars are a Canadian dessert bar that it was created about 35 years ago, 40 years ago, if not longer. They are a cookie type base, and they have a custard icing filling and then chocolate on top. So we're going to make the base first as soon as we have everybody here. So I'm not sure who's all in there. Hello, Dawn. I'm trying to read from across the room.
Hi, Dawn.
All right. So I don't know if you guys can hear Jen. Just say hello if you can hear her, because she is on the headset above my head and above the mic. So you may hear her. She's going to tell me what is being said or any questions that I need to answer in chat. So I think I see Pam. So Jen's going to be helping me out with that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the stove. Wrong one. Because I need to heat up the water to do the main part. So the base is made with, you need to have a double boiler. Is there? That's fine. So you need to have a double boiler. So you basically all I use is a metal bowl. I put water in a pot, put a metal bowl on top of it, works perfectly fine. All right, so we need 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks of butter. We'll let this simmer first, and then we'll put the butter in there.
Renee, Dawn says you're pretty.
Oh, thanks, Dawn. You guys all get to see my hands, not my face, so I don't usually like having my face seen, so and I think I see a Crashus in there. Hello, Crashus. Hello, Calamity. I don't know who else I can see there. I recognize certain
yes, the evil
icons.
fairy has arrived.
The evil fairy has arrived. That's funny. All right, so once this warms up, then we'll put the butter in there and we'll get that started. Oh, I need sugar. I forgot to grab the sugar. So I need 1/2 cup of sugar. And I completely forgot to get sugar. And I've lost my measuring cup. There it is. So I have to wash my measuring cup. I'll be right back with you. I completely forgot sugar. That would not have made a very sweet Nanaimo bar. And of course Shyla is prowling around the room, so if you hear her clop clop clopping, that's why. I'm using the mic on the camera, which will pick up every noise in the house as it happens. So if you hear things, I apologize. So we need 1/2 cup of sugar.
Your microphone's picking up noises all the way from Georgia.
That too. All right. So because I'm using a large pan, I'm doubling the recipe. So if you have a smaller pan, you don't need to double the recipe. So the recipe is actually 1/2 cup of butter, 1/4 of a cup of sugar, and 1/3 of a cup of cocoa. So I have 2/3 of a cup of cocoa, a 1/2 cup of butter, and a 1/2 cup of sugar because I'm doubling the recipe. And I do believe Bob just came home. I think he's quietly sneaking into his office.
Yana says it's nice to put your face with your voice.
Well, it's better than some people have said about putting my face places. I will only crack 1 or 2 of your screens, I promise.
Hi, Pamela.
Hi, Pamela. All right, so we've got 1 cup of butter. And we're going to use our spatula and our oven mitt because this is hot. And we're going to break this up in the bowl. Once this is mixed, once this is broken up and melted down, we'll be switching over to the whisk. So I'm going to put the sugar in here. So that's half a cup of sugar and a cup of butter and 2/3 of a cup of cocoa in the bowl. So that can go, oh no, I need that bowl. No. Yeah. All right.
Is the butter salted or unsalted?
Unsalted. You can use either. I use unsalted. You can also use margarine for this recipe as well. I just prefer the taste of butter. Okay, now once you have that all mixed together, so as you can see it's now mixed together and it's liquid, you can turn your stove down and then you crack one egg, but I'm going to be using 2 because like I said, I'm doubling the recipe. Make sure that you don't get any shells in there. So I've got 2 eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You put that into the eggs. Now I'm going to mix the eggs, beat the eggs, whatever you want to call it. Now this is the tricky part. You have to temper the eggs, otherwise pouring this into your chocolate, you're going to end up with scrambled chocolate eggs. And you don't want scrambled chocolate eggs. So a tablespoon or a large spoon and add your mixture. 2 or 3 tablespoons of the mixture into the eggs. I know I shouldn't have done that, but and then mix it up. And as you can see, I don't have scrambled eggs there. And once I pour it in here, use your whisk, get it moving. And then pour it all in. And that's going to cook the eggs to an edible area. Now you need to take your graham cracker crumbs. Let's take the whisk out, because we don't need the whisk anymore. We need the spatula. So we've got 4 cups of graham cracker crumbs. For a regular tray, you only need 2 cups. But we've got 4 cups there. 2 cups of shredded coconut. This is sweetened shredded coconut. If you use unsweetened shredded coconut, put a teaspoon or a tablespoon per cup of honey in your mixture. And then I'm also going to use, oh, I lost some sugar there. I'm also going to use candied cherries. Now normally you would also use walnuts. I've already made one with walnuts, so that is fine. I make two different kinds at Christmas. I make a cherry one and a walnut one.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben. So then you mix this together until you no longer see the graham crackers. So all you're going to see is chocolate.
Hi, Dion.
Hey, Dion. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. Jen will relay them to me, and I will try to answer them the best I can. Try not to get it all over the kitchen. There's always a little bit of spillage. I keep it on top of the hot water so that it stays fairly liquid, so that the butter stays melted while I'm mixing it all in. Alright, so that's all mixed in. So now we have our pan, and I've coated the bottom of the sheet pan with, or the bottom of the pan with a sheet of parchment paper. Now we're going to dry off the bottom of this bowl so it doesn't drip into our mixture. And we're going to put it into the sheet pan. So there's our mixture.
Pamela is very happy to see your face. She wants to give you a hug and test the chocolate.
All right, so now we have it all in the sheet pan. And then you're going to take your hands and you're going to press it into
Hi, Penny.
Hi, Penny. You're going to take your hands and press it into the pan. Make it as even as possible. Take your hand and press it into the pan.
Penny says it looks yummy.
Yay. I'll show you what it looks like as soon as I get it pressed in. I know that the camera shot is probably not the best. I thought about just doing it straight down, but people want to see my face. I don't know why. Me concentrating, not something you guys want to see. Alright. So once you get it pressed into the pan, it's going to look like this. Then you need to refrigerate it for 2 or 3 hours. Now, we don't need to do that. Well, we do, but I already have one ready to go that we're going to put the icing and the chocolate on. So here's one that I've already done. This is the walnut one. So this one has walnuts in it instead of the cherries. And we're going to put the icing on this one. As soon as I clean up a little bit of this mess, because I gotta move a few things around.
Look, it's magically done.
It's magically done. There we go. So I'm just gonna tidy up a little bit so that I have room to move, because I'm gonna have to pull the mix master out now, because now we're going to make the filling. So I've got to move all the things I don't need. Now we're going to make the filling.
Crashes wants one with almond or walnuts and cherries.
No. The reason why I started making the cherry one is because a friend of ours is allergic to nuts. So
how finely do you chop the walnuts? Calamity wants to know.
you just break them up as finely as you want. Basically, I just take a rolling pin and smash them up a little bit in the bag. So I'll show you here. So as you can probably see, the walnuts are just chunks. So whatever is preferable to yourself. Whatever you prefer. Alright, so we're going to pull the mix master out now. And we are going to start the middle.
Watching from her phone because she is the cause of a power outage in her neighborhood.
Who is? Oh, Celine? I missed who was watching from their phone. Celine. Ah. Hello, Celine. Stop making the power go out. All right. So for the center, I'm going to turn that off because we don't need it yet. We're going to need it for the chocolate topping, but for the center we need a half a cup of butter. So 1 stick of butter. Again, if you're using a smaller pan, use the regular amount, which is 1/4 of a cup of butter. And I don't pre-peel the butter off of the wrapper off the butter because I always find that I end up with a mess that way. So I don't do it. Now you need, this is the important part for Nanaimo Bars. In order to make it a custard center, a custard icing, you need 3 tablespoons of milk and 2 tablespoons of Bird's custard powder. Oh, this one's not even open. So custard powder is basically just what you would use to make custard. Am I still here? I don't hear Jen anymore. So I'm not sure where Jen went.
I'm in your head.
Okay. Jen's in my head. Oh no. Alright, so I need a...
Crash just wants to know if you have a coupon for the custard powder.
No. It is a... Normally it's a Canadian thing. It's very difficult to find in the US. However, the world market has it, and now Fred Meyer's has it, which is Kroger. But when I first moved here, it was very difficult to find it. Now, because I've doubled the recipe, I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of the custard powder in here.
Dion says you need to show your face more. It's purty.
No. No. Once a year. That's all you get. Alright, so there's our milk and our custard powder. I'm going to take the fork that I used earlier for the egg, and I'm going to mix that up. So, you will notice your milk turn a custardy orange color. And then we'll let that sit.
Celine says they have custard powder in Australia.
Yes, it's a British English thing. Canadian, British, you know. I don't know if you have birds up there, but the one I use and have always used is called Birds. And trying to see where it's made. Doesn't say. But the ingredients are corn flour, salt, vanilla, and coloring, basically. I could probably have made it myself. But there's something in it that makes it special. I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to put the...
Precious says it's on Amazon.
Ah, good. Okay. Like I said, when I first moved to the U.S., it was very difficult to find. Now it's not so bad. Alright, so...
And Bob shared a link.
Nice. Thank you, honey. So, now we need 4 cups of icing sugar. And we're going to blend that into the butter. Now, you're going to notice that it's a little dry until you add the milk. What was that? I lost Jan.
I said, thank you, honey, to Bob.
Ah. So there's 1 cup. There's 2 cups. And no, you don't have to sift it or anything else. It doesn't matter. It's just going to become icing, so. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Alright, so there's our icing sugar.
Dion wants your sweater.
There you go. I like my sweater dress. Start very, very low. This is going to get loud, so I apologize. So we're starting at a very low turn so that we can break that butter up and get it started mixed into the sugar. As it starts mixing into the sugar, you turn up the speed of the mixer till you can see that the butter is all broken up. And then we're going to take our milk and custard. And we're going to slowly start adding that. Just little bits at a time as it incorporates. And then we turn it up. This is where it gets loud. Okay, so now I want to flavor this with peppermint. So I'm going to use a teaspoon of peppermint extract. If I can get it open. There we go. And I always use the lid of the extracts, whether it be the peppermint or the vanilla. I just use the lid. It seems to work well. And then I want it to be green. So I'm going to put in a few drops of the food coloring. Now your icing is going to start off with a yellow-orange color, just like the custard. So you might have to add more green as you go. Okay, sorry about that. I got noisy. All right, so just like in coloring with baking and food coloring and stuff like that, when you're trying to create a color, it's better to add more than, start with less and add more than to put in too much. So here is our icing. Just going to take the spatula, the mixer beater out of it.
Celine says, scrape down the sides, Renee.
Oh, I will. I'm going to mix the rest of it by hand just to make sure it's fully incorporated. And then I'll show you what color it is.
And Della's here.
Hi, Della. I hope you are feeling well. Feeling better at least. Alright, so there is our icing. It is a lovely mint green color and it smells very, very minty. Now I'm gonna tip you guys down. So you're gonna go for a bit of a ride.
Della's feeling better.
There you go. So there's our base. I made you guys go for a ride. And we're gonna put the topping on. This is the center. So we're going to put the center on and we're going to spread it around. Alright, where's my knife? I just had it. Where did I put it? There it is. There we go. And then we're just going to move that around until it fully covers the base. You want it fairly even because we're going to be pouring chocolate on this. And if it's not even, you're going to get pools of chocolate where it's just too dense, where it's too high. So this is a very critical point to make sure that you have even coverage. So this basically is the blending. The blending of the Nanaimo Bars. All right. Fill in any holes. bubbles. Like that. Now this needs to go back in the refrigerator. While it's in the fridge, I'm going to tip you back up. Unless you want to look at the counter, you know, or my belly, whichever. Move this over here. I'm going to just clean up just a little bit here because I hate having a messy area. It drives me crazy. There, that's better. All right, so next we're going to make the topping. Now the topping is basically chocolate, baker's chocolate. So we have semi-sweet baker's chocolate. I'm going to tip you back up here so you're not just looking at my chest area. There you go. I think I got it. I don't know if everybody's left me or not. All right. There you go. All right, so now we're going to turn our stove back on. And we're going to get that nice and hot. Now I'm going to move this over here. And we're going to heat up the water again. And we're going to put 2 bars of the baking chocolate. So if you're making just one recipe, just use 1 bar. But because I'm making a double batch, I use 2.
We're still here.
Okay. I don't know if anybody's asking any questions or anything, so. I know there's a bit of a delay,
Ben
so.
wants to know, what is a Nanaimo bar exactly?
Nanaimo bars are a dessert that was created in Nanaimo, BC, approximately 30 or 40 years ago. And it is a Canadian dessert bar, basically. It was created by a woman in Nanaimo where they were doing a baking contest, and she created them then. They are also done in New York, and the ones that are done in New York, I do believe are called the New York Dessert Bar, but Nanaimo have them first, so. So we've got 2 things of baker's chocolate in here. And we need a tablespoon of butter each. So I need 2 tablespoons of butter in there as well. We're going to let that water get hot.
Crashes is drooling.
Oh dear. I'm sorry, Calamity. So 2 tablespoons of butter. As soon as this gets up to boil, I'll turn it down and then we'll put the chocolate on it and start melting the chocolate. This already has chocolate on it, so we'll put that there. And once this is done, hopefully, actually I'm going to stick that instead of in the fridge. I'm going to stick it in the freezer because I want the icing custard area to be very, very cold. So I'm just going to put it in the chill.
Hi, Alex.
In the chill freezer. Hi, Alex. Putting it in the deep freeze so that it chills faster. And a little bit of coconut on the burner, so that's no good. Now we're going to turn this down. And we're going to start melting the chocolate. Now, normally I would suggest putting the bars in the fridge for at least an hour to 2 hours after you put the custard icing on it, just so that it sets a little bit better before you pour the chocolate on, because the chocolate's going to have heat to it, which is going to melt a little bit of that icing.
Alex is walking to the library.
Oh, be careful walking to the library. I'm glad you're feeling better. So I don't know if you guys can see the chocolate melting.
Calamity says, if I make this, we are in trouble. Can we say sugar coma?
You don't eat a whole bar. Well, an entire batch. Just one bar. Just one bar at a time. And because it's only been 39 minutes, I might put you on it.
I'm not sure I have that kind of willpower.
I might kill y'all and make chocolate fudge too. Okay, so as we're tempering the chocolate.
Alex says yes, she's feeling better.
Oh, good. Glad you're feeling better.
Yana says this could be a great choice for my Christmas Day desserts.
There you go. Alright, now we're going to take this off. We're going to grab that out of the chill. And hopefully it's cold enough. Yeah.
And Calamity wants fudge.
Calamity wants me to make fudge. Now, I make fudge different than other people, so it only takes me approximately 5 minutes to make fudge. Alright, so now that it's all melted, I'm just going to make sure that it's mixed together fine. And then we're just going to start pouring it over. Try not to let it get too cool in the bowl. Otherwise it'll start setting up in the bowl and you don't want that. Alright. And we're going to grab this. And we're going to tip you down so you can see what I'm doing. Well, not down that far.
Calamity wants your 5-minute fudge recipe.
For 5-minute fudge, it's actually a very, very simple recipe. And so I've got a spatula here, a tip spatula, and I'm just moving the chocolate gently over top of the icing, because if you do it too hard, you're going to end up with that icing up in your chocolate, which is fine. It doesn't change the taste of it, or it doesn't change the aesthetic of it. It'll just make the icing in that area, or the chocolate in that area, thinner. And there we have a pan. Sink in there. There we go. And there we have a pan of mint Nanaimo bars. They are done. That is it. They have to go back in the fridge for a couple of hours to solidify the chocolate, and then we can slice them.
Yay!
Alright, so if you guys want me to make fudge, I need to get the ingredients together. So, and I need to fix the camera. So, I apologize for the mess of my kitchen, because now it's a mess. But I have to fix the camera.
Yes, you have several requests for making fudge.
Alright, I'm going to fix the camera here. There we go. I'm going to turn off the stove. So you guys either want to...
I feel like Ed McMahon. Here's Renee.
Here comes Johnny. Alright, let's fix that a little bit better. There we go. So what you need to make fudge. This is a 5-minute fudge. First of all, you need a pan. So I need to grab the pan here. Hopefully not drop all the pans on the floor. And we need to butter said pan.
Frankenstein has been spotted on your fridge.
Oh dear. Somebody saw Frank, did they? Alright, so I've got one of the wrappers from the butter that I used earlier. And I'm just going to coat the pan with it. Now you can also use saran wrap if you don't like the extra bit of butter flavor in your chocolate. But it's not a whole lot, it's just enough to coat the pan. Now, I need to leave you all for a moment because I have to get the chocolate chips. So I'm going to go to my pantry. I'll be right back.
I like butter, Dion.
Who doesn't like butter? I don't know. You never know. Somebody might not. Oh. So I've got chocolate chips. These are Toll House chocolate chips. We will be using those.
I'm just filling dead space.
And I got tall. Not tall enough, but I got tall. And you need a can of Eagle brand sweetened condensed milk. open the chocolate chips.
Calamity likes to use dark chocolate for her fudge.
And for regular fudge, I would say to do so. However, with this fudge, if you do that, it's going to be very bitter. So you take your pot, and you do...
Jemiah says hi.
Hi, Jemiah. This one I don't even need a recipe for. 3 cups of chocolate chips. A can of sweetened condensed milk. And I may need a spatula or a spoon. Oh, honey. Knife will do. Use whatever to scrape the condensed milk out of the can. Make sure that you get all of it out of the can. So we've got chocolate chips and condensed milk. Now we're going to put it on the stove. And we're going to take this spatula. And we're going to put it on just medium low. And we're going to stir it. This is the easiest chocolate fudge recipe I have ever made. And it turns out really good every time. If you like traditional chocolate fudge, this may not be for you. Because it's not as sweet. I find anyway. I don't get crystallization this way. And I need... where did I put it? Ah, hiding behind the sugar. Vanilla. I don't know how behind you guys are. My assistant has gone silent. This one might be better.
I'm here.
Are there any questions or?
Nope. Actually, I have a question. What cookies would you recommend eating while you color a mandala?
None. I wouldn't recommend coloring a mandala. Now
I couldn't help myself. Sorry.
I know. You just have to get it in there. Now my spatulas are a little bit too flimsy because they're old. I think I'm going to have to get new spatulas. So I'm going to use a wooden spatula instead. I'm going to turn it up just a bit.
Crashness is now threatening me with a pool noodle.
That's bad. Crashes is threatening you with a pool noodle. So I'm just
I'm not
stirring this
afraid. I run faster
constantly.
than he does.
That's true. That is true. So I'm just stirring this constantly over top of the heat so that it doesn't burn until all of the chocolate chips are melted.
Celine is wondering when her batch will arrive.
Well, if I ship it now, it might be there by next Christmas. Right? Celine, if I send it now, it might be there by next Christmas. Now I'm going to have to turn this up a bit. It's not quite hot enough to give me the liquid that I want. That's better.
You might want to make a bigger batch. You're having several requests for cookies, Renee.
So once it starts melting, it's going to look a little bit chalky. Don't stop stirring and don't take it off the heat until it looks glossy. Turn it down a little bit. This is where arm muscles come in handy.
Precious wants to know, is that before or after you add the stickles?
If you add stickles to this, Crashes, I don't think anybody's going to want to eat it.
It's extra fiber.
No. I can add glitter to it because I have edible glitter, but
Celine's phone is down to 45%.
oh, I'm sorry. Put it on the charger. Charge it. Oh yeah, you can't. You have no power. Oops.
She has no power.
Yes. It just dawned on me that that could be a problem.
Tori's wedding cake had edible gold flake on it.
Nice. I have edible gold and an edible metallic pink. This is the hard part. Whew. Almost glossy. So we're almost there. This is nothing. Wait until I make peanut brittle.
I'm tired just watching you.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's starting to get glossy. You can see a shine on it. It's not quite there, but it's almost there. Whew. Let my arm rest for a second, let the heat get in there.
Yum!
Yum! Let the heat get into my arm.
Do I get to lick the pan?
If you want to. This is my workout for the year. It's almost ready. Once it's completely liquefied and glossy, we'll be putting the vanilla on it and then putting it in the pan. So I'm going to grab
Why do you have to heat it until it's glossy?
Because if you don't, that means that the chocolate isn't melted or tempered properly. And it will just look really chalky in your pan. So you take 3 teaspoons of vanilla. Welcome back. Alright, so see now that it's liquid, it's glossy. Then we're going
Pamela says she could eat the whole pan right now.
Then we're going to throw the vanilla in, and then we're going to stir it really fast. Then we're going to take our spatula and scrape all this
And Yana would be happy just to sit there with the spoon.
Alright. And then we're going to put it in the pan. Turn off the stove so that I don't burn myself. Now it will take less time if you do it at a higher heat. However, I have burnt it before, so I tend to try to keep the heat as low as possible. Especially with this stove. All right.
Hi, Emmy.
And there we have chocolate fudge. All right. So what else are we going to make, guys? All right, so that is Nanaimo Bars and chocolate fudge. And
that looks delicious.
We've only been here an hour. So I'm going to wash my hands.
Dion requests peanut brittle, and Jennifer Bruce says, make soup.
No, I'm not making soup. My husband does not eat soup. He doesn't like soup. All right, so peanut brittle takes a lot more, and it's a lot of standing, so I won't do that on stream. Because, yeah, I need way more room. But that is that. Well, what we could do, actually what we will do.
What are our options, Renee?
Our options are, and what we're going to do, is tidy up a little tiny bit, because the cherry ones should be done about now. They should be cool enough to icing and chocolate now. But I need to wash the bowl. Alright. Because we don't want any mint in our cherry. Alright, so I'm going to wash this up, and then we will pull the mixer forward again, and we'll make the filling and the chocolate for the second batch of Nanaimo Bars. And then I think I'm going to call it a day, because that's a day. So, there's my Mixmaster paddle. And then I gotta make dinner.
Stella is asking, Renee, have you ever made chocolate-covered cherries?
Yes.
One of my son's babysitters used to make them, and she showed me.
Yes, I have. I don't like the fondant that goes around them, so I'm not very fond of them. There's a paste that goes around the cherry that when you dip it in the chocolate and then let it let it become solid, the center melts. And I'm not very fond of that center. So I've only made them once or twice. My mom's made them lots though. I do believe. Okay, so that is that. We need this one for the chocolate.
Hi, Marilyn.
I need another pot. Where's my other pot? I'm missing a pan. Oh. I have a blind cupboard, so there's an area in the back of my cupboard that I can't see into. And my pot got pushed into it, I think. Nope. I've lost a pan, which means that one of the kids has it in their room. But that's okay. Oh no, it's in here. It's in here. Somebody put it in the
Did it
dishwasher.
run away?
I found it. Oh. Alright. There's the water for the chocolate. Now I gotta get the milk.
Della says that her recipe uses powdered sugar, not that other stuff.
What recipe? Hi, Ashley.
For the chocolate-covered cherries.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Ashley's here, and so is Marilyn.
Hi, Marilyn. I'll be right back. All right. Well, let's see if I missed it in the fridge. And I did not. So, I can't make the center for the other Nanaimo bars until somebody goes and gets me some milk. So, Bob is going to run out and get me some milk. So, we're going to tidy up a little bit while he does that.
Uh-oh.
I thought we had another jug in the other fridge. But we don't. So I'm just going to wash up a couple of things here that I need. And maybe put the slices into the other Nanaimo bars. If you guys want me to do that, I can do that while we wait for the milk. Anybody? Nobody? Okay. So, because the chocolate is starting...
Marilyn likes that you have a live moderator tonight.
Me too. So, as you can see, the chocolate is starting to harden, but it's not completely solid yet. So now is when you need to take your knife and a ruler.
The answer to your question is yes.
It's always yes. Unless it's no. Where's my ruler? Jan, where's my ruler?
No, it's both.
Found it. so you need a knife and a ruler. Try not to put the ruler in the Nanaimo Bars. Now you're not cutting all the way through, you're just scoring the chocolate. I use a ruler because I can't draw a straight line. I can't cut one either. However, my paper's getting in my way. And as you can see, the chocolate scores really easily while it's still soft. If you waited until...
Nora loves your long hair.
Thank you. If you waited to do this until the chocolate was hard, it would just crack. So in order not to crack your chocolate once it is hard, go through and score it first. Now if you want to use two different types of chocolate, like a white chocolate and a dark chocolate, you can definitely do that. Just make sure that you run your toothpick through it. I'm just going to even that up. And now it's all scored. I can put it back in the fridge, let it solidify, and then I can cut it. Having the paper here also makes it easier for me to lift the whole thing out of the pan. So that goes back in the fridge.
Dibs on the edge pieces.
This is still too warm to cut, so we'll leave that alone. You gotta fight the boys for the edge pieces. So I'm gonna tip this back up so you guys can see me, not just my chest, because nobody wants to see that. And does anybody have any questions or anything like that that you want me to answer on either of these recipes while we wait for Bob to go to the store? For the milk. Of course, we could always do the first part, so.
Come on, submit your questions now.
Well, you're out of time. Bob's back from the store. Thank you, dear. I guess Bob doesn't want to come on camera and say hi. He ran away very quickly.
This stream is making everyone hungry.
Well, that's what happens when you ask me for a baking stream. You asked for it. So we've got half a cup of butter. Now we're going to put in 4 cups of sugar. All over the counter. We won't tell nobody. It took me a long time to allow myself to put this much sugar in anything. I was terrible at making icing because I always thought it was too much sugar. But yeah, with this kind of thing, you kind of need all that sugar to... It goes down really quick. It's not as much as I thought it was. Okay, so there's 4 cups of sugar and half a cup of butter. Put it on the mixer.
Is this your first live cooking stream, Renee?
No, I've done 3. I do one every Christmas. The first Christmas I made whipped shortbread. Last year I didn't do it live because the cookies I made had a lot of rest time required, so I did that as a recorded video, and then this one. Every Christmas I do a cooking video or a cooking live. So last year I made chocolate walnut wafers. The year before I made whipped shortbread, and this year I'm making Nanaimo bars. And fudge. Alright, we're gonna get this started. Let's not get the sugar everywhere. Just a little dusty. Okay. Now we're going to get our milk. And this is 90 mils of milk that I need, which is 6 tablespoons. And then we need the custard powder. I always do that with the custard powder. Stick my finger in it. And I need my... Did anybody see what I did with my measuring spoons? There they are. I need my measuring spoons. I need my step stool to be out of my way. So there's 1.
I have them.
Do ya? 2. So it's your fault? Is that what you're telling me? 3.
It's always my fault.
Oh. You're still not fired, so. Just so you know. Grab another fork.
My evil plan has been foiled yet again.
Yep. So I'm mixing the custard powder into the milk. Now, if you take this custard powder and you actually cook the milk on the stove with the custard powder, it actually makes a really nice custard. Add a little bit of honey to it, it's really good. If you like custard. If you use cream in the custard powder and then put it through the ice cream maker, it makes really good ice cream too.
Stella just said that she got her Mystical Lands book today.
Awesome! Congratulations again on your win. I knew I had another spatula around here somewhere. I'm going to turn this on low, and we're going to start pouring in our... Oh my goodness. Charlotte got up onto the couch.
Yana says you need a t-shirt that says Jason in it. And Dion is asking how much vanilla did you put in the fudge?
3 teaspoons. Okay, so what I'm looking for when I'm watching the mixer while it's mixing up things like icing is for it to lighten in color and to give wisps that look like little ribbons of icing. Now this is super, super, super concentrated, so I'm only going to use half a capful. And this is cherry flavoring, but it is extremely concentrated. And I'll test the flavor after, because if you put too much in, it is really, really strong. Less is more. If you need to add more, it's better to add more than try to take it away. And there we have our cherry icing. And then we're going to fold in whatever didn't get mixed in with the mixer.
Yum!
Look, Dion, it's pink. And I can smell the cherry in it, so I know that there's enough. Since all my taste testers are hiding. It's the only thing about not being able to taste everything. I can't tell if it's all the right taste. So again, just going to mix it all in by hand. Make sure that it's fully incorporated. And there's nothing left on the bowl. Alright. Now we're going to clean up this a little bit. And get another knife. Oh, my dishwasher's going to have fun tonight. Okay. So we have our cherry base. Now I'm going to tip you down so you can see what I'm doing, other than getting stuff all over myself. And scrape this off. try to make sure that we get as much of the filling in the Nanaimo bars as possible. And then we're spreading this out. Remember to spread this out as evenly as you can. Now you can also put cherries in the icing if you choose. But I find that too much cherry can be a good thing. It can be too much.
I think Crash is getting hangry.
Oh dear. Why? Am I doing something wrong? Does he not like something I'm doing? Hey, I asked y'all if you wanted a baking stream. You said yes.
He's watching this live stream on an empty stomach.
Oh. Well, you guys, I asked if you wanted a baking stream. You said yes. You should have come prepared. Again, making sure that it's as even as possible, that there's no divots, dips, or holes.
Dawn says it looks good. And Emmy just came back.
Welcome back, Emmy. And thank you, Dawn. All right, so that's completely even. Nobody saw that? I didn't do it. Now I'm going to put this in the freeze, just so that we can solidify it up enough to put the chocolate on it.
I saw nothing.
My tummy will tell on me later. My tum-tum will tell on me later. Alright. Now I'm just drying out the chocolate bowl till it's really dry, because we don't want any water in the bowl at all. Water and chocolate are not a good mix. Alright, so we've got 2 bars of chocolate. Now, if you are doing a single batch of this, I'm doing a double batch. If you're doing a single batch, you only need 1 bar. I'm going to turn on the stove. Get that water boiling. Hello, Nightbot. And if you guys want to be really hangry by the end of this, once I'm done with all of this, I can show you all the other things I've baked this week. And why you guys didn't get a video yesterday. Because, yeah. I had flour up to my elbows.
Are you baking instead of coloring?
Yes. Yes, I have been. So now we need 2 tablespoons of butter. So there's 1, 2. And in it goes. Once that water...
Hi, Mad Monkey.
Hey there, Monkey Pace. I already made the Nanaimo bars. I'm just putting the topping on them now. You missed it. Monkey Face is a fellow Canadian, so he knows what Nanaimo bars are. Okay, so we're going to melt the chocolate. I made cherry and peppermint.
Monkey says he doesn't mind missing the baking, but he does mind missing the eating.
Ah, well. You know where I live? You have a passport now. Telling you. Get up out of the basement. Gonna turn it down. Get that chocolate melted. I'm out of spatulas, guys.
I'm trying to convince Monkey to steal me some Nanaimo bars.
He has to come here from Canada first. The one to talk to is Ben.
Is he closer than I am?
Yeah. Well, he's closer to you than me. Monkey's further away. He's up in Toronto, Ontario area. Alright, getting that chocolate all melted up there. Let's hope that
Are they done yet?
almost.
Yay!
Alright, again we're going to lift this up and then we're going to dry the bottom. Because we don't want water in our chocolate. Spread our chocolate out. Try not to get too much of the icing in the chocolate. Try to get all the chocolate out of the pan there. Let's make sure I get the chocolate everywhere and spread out as we can. Otherwise it gets too thick and it'll crack. That's another thing you have to watch for when making the Nanaimo bars, is if your chocolate is too thick in any area, when you try to cut it, it'll crack. That's another reason why I score it. Alright, and that is cherry Nanaimo bars all done. So there we have the cherry ones. We'll put these in the fridge and they'll solidify as well. So here are the first ones that we made. And these ones are pretty close to being done. These are the mint ones, and we just finished the cherry.
Good night, Dion.
Good night, Dion. And then we have chocolate fudge. It's almost solid enough to cut. And now the insanity of yesterday. So yesterday I made 2 different types of tarts. I'll move things around here. And try not to spill my coffee in the process.
Yana would like to know, how do you store your bars?
I cut them and then I put them in a tin. So this is the insanity of yesterday. I put them in cookie tins, metal cookie tins, chocolate tins, with parchment paper. So these are Christmas tarts. They're Christmas fruit tarts, and these are butter tarts. So we got lots of tarts. So that was the insanity of yesterday, and that's why I was up to my elbows.
Is asking, who are all of those sweets for?
I make Christmas baskets to give away to the adults in our lives, such as our mother-in-law, friends, family, stuff like that. Bob has a couple of friends that he has decided that he's going to send them sweets because they're special. But mostly it's friends and family locally. I put them in a basket with cellophane and.
I'm special.
I know you're special, but it costs a lot to ship these things. They're heavy. But I have to try to get them all done before Friday so that, you know, they can.
Monkey says, Bob's all the tart we need. I don't know if I should have repeated that.
Butter tarts. Bob's all the tart you need. Uh-huh. Tell that to Ben. And then, the day before that, I filled this fella.
Calamity says I should not have watched this tonight. I have a feeling I'm going to be in the kitchen for the next 2 to 3 days.
So I made ginger snaps. And rolled shortbread. So that's shortbread cut out with cookie cutters. This one here is all one type of cookie. Oh, and there's stuff to chop. The cherries got sticky. And those are whipped shortbread. And we have a man down. The whipped shortbread really does not want to get put away. So that is whipped shortbread. And
that's because the whipped shortbread wants to get eaten.
Yes, yes, I'm sure it does. And this is how I store things, in these tins, Christmas tins. And these are chocolate walnut wafers. So that's what I've been doing. I have, oh, and I also made and I let them try these ones. So there's a line missing. And these are, I didn't cut any more but because, you know, the kids would eat them all. And these are lemon snow bars. So far this past week and a half, I've made 4 types of cookies, 2 types of tarts, 2 types of bars, and chocolate fudge. I don't know if you heard all that, but and we have chocolate.
We heard you.
All right. So that is my baking stream. We've got the Nanaimo bars all done. We've got chocolate fudge all done.
Marilyn said that she baked cookies once 20 years ago, but it was one and done.
Yeah, this is the only time of year I do this, is Christmas. And normally I do this twice each Christmas, because once I got sick, I'm not supposed to eat any of the glutinous, sugar, sweetness, wonderfulness that is Christmas baking. So I also normally do a batch of each thing gluten-free and sugar-free as well. I'm not doing that this year. This has been crazy enough this year. To do it twice would just be insanity to me, so I'm not doing that.
Gluten and sugar holds his body together.
Yes, yes. Bob feels the same way. But if I want to not have an upset tummy because I've eaten things I shouldn't, then I normally make my own or make a gluten-free alternative. but I'm not going to this year. It's just way too much work. I'm tired. Trying to read chat from across the room. This is interesting. So
Everyone
that,
loved the stream tonight.
well, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That is my stream for this evening. It is the end of the Christmas baking stream. I will be back tomorrow doing the Art Therapy Thursday, and we will be coloring on the Karen Myers picture. That will be a recorded video. And then on Friday, once everything is all put together and done and out of my house, then I can do a live stream um, uh, for the rest of the Karen Myers. And I think that might be it for streaming for the rest of the holidays. And I may end up taking some time off because I've still got a ton of things to do for Christmas. So I may take some time off, and if I do, I will let you know on Friday. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. Of course, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy watching. And always, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye. Now I have to go over here and turn things off, so...